Parshas Boy. It's always exciting, these parshas, as this is Pesach. You know, we get a little bit of a taste of Pesach here in the winter, especially it's a leap year, so Pesach is far off. Maybe for some, that's a good thing. You have longer to clean. Maybe for others, that means you just clean a little bit too long. But either way, we have in this week's parsha a fascinating pasuk with a absolutely incredible Rashi. The pasuk says, and it will be when your son will say to you, Ma ha'avoda hazois lochem. Now those words conjure in our mind something interesting, and it triggers us. Ma ha'avoda hazois lochem. In our mind, if we think for a moment, we are recalling the Russia, the four sons at the Seder, and this is the Russia's line. But yet, in the pasuk it says that we're going to tell him, Zevach Pesach Chul Hashem. And then Rashi over there says something even more fascinating. Rashi says, Al Besura Taiva. Yes, I will translate, I'm sorry. Rashi says, Al Besura Taiva Sheyesh Lai Banim. The pasuk says that your son is going to ask you, what is this work that you're doing? And these are the words that usually the Rasha, the wicked son, says at the Seder. And we're going to respond seemingly very nicely. And then Rashi says, this is wonderful. The pasuk ends off that the Jews bowed down, and this was a wonderful news that they received. And the question over here is that these are the words of the wicked son of the Rasha, particularly here, Klal Yisrael is bowing down and saying thanks to Hashem on the fact that they're going to have children. So Moshe Feinstein, the Chassam Sofer, and the Bnei Yissaschar all give a very similar twist of an answer, and I'll explain it very quickly, which I believe really gives us all, everyone with their children, their relatives, a lot of encouragement. Ramosha Feinstein starts and he says, yes, there will be difficult children. There will be troubled youth. There will be children that might get lost a little bit. But says Ramosha, his words, hukal, it's easy to bring them back to being a shomer, Torah, and mitzvahs, to being a God-fearing Jew. And he says, and always, if there will be institutions and there will be people who will try, they will be successful. And therefore, there is what to rejoice upon. Maybe prophetic words of Ramosha Feinstein, encouraging words of Ramosha Feinstein, but Ramosha Feinstein teaching us nonetheless that the Torah itself is telling us that there will be problems. There always will be issues. There will be a Rasha, but don't worry. We'll work on it. We'll try. And b'siyata d'shmaya, those kids will come back. And similarly, the Chassam Sofer says, if you look carefully at the wording of this verse in this pasuk, you see it's written in the singular. It's not written, it's written in the plural, not in the singular. And he says that the reason is because in singular, there will be a Rasha. There will be individual issues. But in mass, we don't have to worry. Klal Yisrael, Am Yisrael will always be able to come back home. And finally, Bnei Yissaschar says a little bit of a deeper thought. He says, yes, there are troubled children. And yes, there are wayward youth. And yes, there are going to be problems. However, there's what to rejoice about. Why? Because always deep within that Rasha, always hidden beneath all those layers of trauma, of issues, of pain, there's always a little spark of holiness. So therefore, there's what to rejoice, because there will be children. As Rashi says, this is the good tiding of Besura Taiva, that there will be children. Because yes, maybe this child has an issue, but deep within him, there's that spark of holiness. And therefore, whether it's he, whether it's his next generation, whether it's future generations, they will eventually come back home. So b'siyata d'shmaya, We take the chizik from the Torah that everyone has their challenges, everyone has their difficulties, everyone has their patches in life, that they need their levels of chizik, of encouragement. But in Mirza Hashem, whether it's with the right type of love, the right type of encouragement, the appropriate institutions, and help that we can get everyone. We have a promise from our Gedalim, from the Psukim, that this is of the Surah Taiva, there's what to rejoice upon. Klal Yisrael, Am Yisrael, all children. Sometimes it takes many years, and sometimes it might even take generations. But eventually that little spark of holiness will come back.